Romance is in. Specifically, gay romance is in. And it's replacing, or at least complementing, the kind of queer love stories we're used to seeing on the screen, where there's a lot of crying and anguish. Even more intriguing, the audience for hot gay romance is women, including a whole lot of heterosexual ladies who, it turns out, have been waiting for some dudes to rip their clothes off and get steamy together. No girls involved.
What am I gonna do with you?
Whatever you want.
The hotness is, of course, by design, a necessary factor to draw in audiences. But there's more to the character of Ray than
a stealthily sexy, dripping in testosterone, hyper-masculine, obvious heartthrob.
There's also leather.
Head to toe, and let me tell you, the white leather evolution of that community, beautiful. But
that community in Pillion is dudes who ride motorbikes. Bianca tells me Pillion has been
marketed as the greatest romance of the year, quite cleverly, since it's coming up against Wuthering Heights in terms of release dates. But it's basically a story about two men who fall in love, and part of the relationship dynamic is that it is a sub-dom relationship. So throw away everything 50 Shades of Grey taught you about it and step into the gay biker community. One character, played by Harry Melling, who everyone will know of Harry Potter fame,
playing Dudley Dursley.
Of Harry Potter fame for playing Dudley Dursley, the beloved obnoxious cousin. He is the kind of younger, more innocent counterpart in the relationship.
How do you get a man like that?
I have an aptitude for devotion.
He works as a parking ticket officer, so obviously his life sucks because everyone universally hates him. Has these gorgeous, doting parents that are so beyond accepting of the fact that he's gay. They push him to the point where they're like, we don't care about your sexuality. We care about the fact that you still don't have a boyfriend and you're becoming boring to us.
Did you kiss? I don't think that is any of your business.
He bumps into Ray, who's played by Skarsgard. And from there, it kind of explodes into this tale both of, you know, how they test each other, how they fall in love with one another, but also how they fall in love with themselves, or what they come to understand about who they want to be, whether they're in that relationship or not.
From Philadelphia to Call Me By Your Name, Hollywood has historically depicted homosexual relationships as doomed. There's struggle, there's death, there are tears. These stories are told from an empathetic point of view, exploring the idea of a marginalised community struggling in an unsympathetic society. It sounds as though we're having a different moment now where seeing homosexuality on screen in ways that is not about them being doomed.
There are a lot of stories that sort of centre on the fact that this character has to come out, or they have to conceal it from someone, or they have to, you know, come to terms with something that they've never expected within themselves. Whereas with kind of this new iteration, it's like that is the baseline. Then we go through what we would call kind of a normal romantic arc that we've seen a million times before. Only this time, a lot of the history has been so rooted in trauma narratives, or this didactic approach to the relationship. Now it's like, well, we are fundamentally happy people, and this is how we express love. And I think it's coming also at a really interesting time in cinema where there aren't many love stories that are joyous, and a lot of them are kind of always depressing, and no one feels good about themselves watching it. Whereas now you have this whole evolution of queer cinema that is just happy to express itself and be proud of what it is.
Every middle-aged woman I know is either reading hot romances about dragons and elves on their Kindle, or they're watching Heated Rivalry, the biggest TV show of the moment, about, of all things, a couple of gay ice hockey players who fall in love.
Ты с кем-то сейчас встречаешься?
Yeah. So what's my name gonna be?
Даже не с Джейн?
Dream.
Вы уже несколько лет переписываетесь. Я думала, может быть, это что-то серьезное или...
This is such a bad idea.
Where does Heated Rivalry fit into this idea that we're talking about of gay romance being portrayed on screen in a way where nobody has to be punished?
I think Heated Rivalry has come as sort of an emblem for this shift, That is also a very happy story. Like there is so much tenderness and so much sweetness. There's also a lot of very, very full-on depictions of sex. But I think it also, in terms of what it offers, is that it has a beauty to it and a tenderness, and it just affords it for what it is. The other thing is that it's two very traditionally masculine kinds of characters. So there's no sort of inherent imbalance between the relationship. There's not one weak partner and then one strong partner that has to save them. And I think that's what's kind of making it so broadly appealing.
So women are the audience for these shows, at least in large part, both straight and queer women.
Yes.
What is it about seeing two super hot dudes, and even as I ask this question, I could feel like I could answer it. What is it about seeing two super hot dudes rip each other's clothes off that is appealing to women?
I mean, we've got the answer straight away, but I think if we want to be less surface level about it, violent images against women, particularly in heterosexual circumstances, are prolific. And we're a lot more aware of it. Consent is very much a conversation. Sexual violence is very much part of the conversation now. And I think a lot of that has contributed to this idea of like, okay, where is the fantasy for us? And within that fantasy, yes, we get things like fairy smut and dragons and everything, literally, in terms of romance novels. But then men loving men has also become an object of desire for women. This is actually not as new as I think Heated Rivalry in films like Pillion would suggest. It started way back when, in the 50s, 60s, with the emergence of slash fiction, which was predominantly penned by women, taking common characters on TV at the moment. My personal favorite is Spock and Captain Kirk, and rewriting the stories that into homosexual love fantasies. It obviously transformed and grew with the ages. 1980s Japan started falling in love with this kind of concept of boys' love, or yaoi, which was also depicting just homosexual characters falling in love with each other, and it was something that was really popularized by women. Where we get to now, a lot of women have been the authors behind gay love stories that have taken off and completely just become massive hits. We've seen 740% increase in people wanting LGBT love stories, particularly with men loving men. A lot of the reason as well is it's a phrase that was coined in 2019 called heteropessimism, where it's basically like between an acute awareness of misogyny, growing spaces like the manosphere online, constant misogynistic rhetoric everywhere, the hell that is online dating, women were basically like, you know what, I'm kind of over having a male partner, let's go fantasize about something else. And it's like, yes, you're still attracted to men. Here's two hot ones going at it and kind of expressing a form of love where you don't look at that and see yourself at a loss. You're not looking at that and thinking like, that's the man that could harm me, or that's the man that's presenting a threat to me. That is just two men falling in love or something like it. And it's more enjoyable.
It shakes up one of the ideas underlying both sex on screen in mainstream entertainment and porn, which is that the consumer of it needs to be able to visualize themselves in that encounter. You know, that I can't enjoy a sort of sexual encounter on screen unless I can imagine myself being one of the participants. This makes it clear that actually the audience doesn't need to be able to see themselves in there.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting change in the way women are thinking about eroticism, isn't it, and porn, particularly at a time when there's so much concern about the violence in porn, like women talking about normal sexual encounters suddenly turning into choking because some dude has watched a lot of choking videos and thinks that that's normal.
Absolutely. What have we been visualizing ourselves in? People who don't have cellulite, stretch marks, any of like the things that are normal, acts of sexuality that are never messy or have, you know, awkward moments in it. And what I find so fascinating in this shift is just it's really come down to the emotional side of it, and that there is that saying, men have sex with the body, women have sex with the mind. I think it does tap into this psychology, whether it's intentional or not. A lot of these queer narratives kind of lean more into the deep affection or the kind of yearning and the longing for it. And that's something that has possibly been quite lost with heteronormative tales. I think there is that kind of gap in the market where a lot of female spectators are looking at this and being like, you know what, I'm enjoying watching this incredible process and this incredibly sexy process. I mean, they're always hot. That's the thing we keep dancing around. These scenes are amazing to look at. And it just makes me feel good about myself. It's like filling this need.
We've been through a big moment where identity politics seemed to take over casting. You had to be of a certain community to be allowed to portray that community on stage or on screen. That seems to be going away.
Even just with the two films that we've mentioned, all the main characters are straight. Like all the protagonists are straight in real life. There's really been no kind of conversation or backlash around it. I mean, there's always one or two cries saying, couldn't a gay actor have played this role? We look back in history, Tom Hanks says he would never have played the role in Philadelphia. And while I don't agree with him because he was amazing.
Yeah, and nobody would have watched it if it had been two unknown actors. The fact that it was
Exactly.
Tom Hanks and Denzel Washington was like that they made it a blockbuster.
Yeah, and it is, and that's a massive part of it. Like you tell someone, go watch Pillion, it's a gay BDSM dom-com of what they're calling it. The average person might not be into that. You tell them Alexander Skarsgard's taken on this role, they'll probably be like, well, why has he done that? Like, surely, okay, there's clearly something else in it.
Oh, sorry, you busy tonight?
We look back at like Sean Penn's Milk, his portrayal of Harvey Milk always comes to mind, where I'm like, he deserved to play that role because he was phenomenal, obviously. But also, that was an iconic gay activist figure. If there was a gay actor in that role, would it have meant something more to the entire production? I mean, at the end of the day, it's called acting.
Bianca Farmakis, thank you very much.
Thank you.